I'm so excited to talk about lending hacks in 2024. We've talked about quite a few new programs and just different things going on. I just wanted to share it with the world. A lot of our buyers, last couple of years have had a lot of challenges with how quickly the market's been moving, how competitive it was like 2 years ago, to the rate hikes and, seeing like 20-year high mortgage rates last year. Going into 2024, I believe there's a whole new, set of optimism in the lending world. Tell me what your thoughts are kind of going forward in 2024.
Well, I think that we're going to see a lot more lending hacks in 2024. I believe that there's a lot more products for people to get into homes, either first-time home buyers or investors looking to expand their portfolio. I do believe that because interest rates are now lower, that more people are going to be excited about the market because they can afford more. So I'm really looking forward to this year and how busy it's going to be and how many more people that can get into the market and actually own their own home.
And it's already starting, right? You brought up two different groups of people. So let's start with like the first-time home buyer, the everyday homeowner. This group has had a lot of challenges, and a lot of people had to kind of step out of the market the last couple of years because of different reasons. But what's coming up for this particular group of people in 2024?
Yeah, I believe that there's going to be a lot of new homeowners this year and a lot of new people that are going to come to the market that want to buy because the market's so hot.
Right.
A lot of people are, scared to qualify or whatever, but I do believe that we do offer new programs now that allow people to be more competitive in the market.
Right.
We do have a buy before you sell.
That's right.
That's going to be huge. We can basically take a finance buyer and turn them into cash. Now, you don't have to have a property to do that. So it can be a first-time home buyer, and we can definitely get them approved that way. And I really think that's going to really give that competitive edge to people to get their offer accepted over other people's offers.
And then, we were doing a lot of rate buy downs last year because the rates were just so high, just to try to get it to a more, comfortable rate. Is that still something you see going forward into 2024?
I do see people doing that now, and I think it's very advantageous to do because it makes your mortgage payment more comfortable. So I really think that it's a very good opportunity that we do have that to offer to people. I don't see it as much as before because, like I said, rates have come down, so people are actually being able to afford more, either more house or a higher priced house. But they are very much in the market, and I think that it's an option to look at, and I think you should. It's very important.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, even last year, the buy before you sell programs were opening up a lot of doors for clients. Also, with rates coming down, obviously, many more people can qualify, right? So let's talk about the second group of people, which was the everyday homeowner or the investor just expanding their real estate portfolio. Late last year in November, we learned that Fannie Mae changed their guidelines to reduce the down payment for a 2 to 4 unit property to 5%. Now, that news was huge. We talked about it a lot, and that's really helping the everyday homeowner now, become the investor earlier on, even with first time. So tell me a little bit more about the lending hacks coming up for those groups of people.
I do believe that it's so awesome that we do have programs for people to become an investor on their first-time home buying. And with the Fannie Mae actually giving us a 5% down product, now homeowners are able to buy their first property and have rental income coming in and have an investment portfolio on day one. The investors that are expanding their portfolio, we do have these DSCR programs that are amazing for them, and now they can expand it even more without having to go through all those critical points to get approved for a loan.
As far as I'm aware, I do a lot of apartment investing, and those loans typically have been kind of reserved for those larger investment purchases, but now having that, available for, other investors not on that scale is really amazing.
Right, and you and I both know we even did a price for one of the ones you were interested in on a 4-unit.
Right.
And even though Fannie Mae does have a conforming loan with 5% down, there are other products that actually help people. And we looked at the FHA 5% down.
Right.
We were able to get a lower rate with a much more buying power, with a higher loan amount, looking at that option. So it's definitely something to think about and ask, what are my options and what's the best thing for me?
If I remember, it was about a full percent lower in terms of rate, and the down payment was only 3.5%, depending on some certain things.
And then your loan amount could go up to $500,000 more, I believe it was. So there was all those options, and it's absolutely great that the opportunities are growing and growing for people to get a better product and get a better rate for these.
That's super exciting. Now, again, there's a lot of energy in the market. I hope people are going to start taking advantage of all of these options and looking into all these options as things have been, evolving over the last, 6, 7, 8 months and kind of going into 2024. Crystal, if anybody has a crystal ball, it's you. So tell me what you see in terms of what the lending landscape looks like in 2024.
I feel like I should have a crystal ball, right? I definitely think that this year is going to be the year. And we've seen obviously the 23-year highs last year, right? In November, I think that's when it hit. And people are freaking out over 8% rates. They have come down considerably since then. We've seen probably close to 2% lower right now. Right. And I do believe that we're going to see fives again this year. And I think that that's going to be consistent. I do think that we're going to see fives again come summertime.
Right.
That gives people way more opportunity to buy. I do think people should look at, buying sooner. It's going to create a lot of turbulence in the market. I do see those coming, which I think is the light at the end of the tunnel, that we're going to see those 5% rates, and we're going to continue to see those throughout the year.
Well, and I think, our markets are really kind of based on mindset and optimism that I've seen. And just an example coming off of last year where rates hit 7.5%, they came down a little bit towards the end of the year. And all of a sudden we had this next buying, frenzy over just 1% or 1.5% lower rates. Now we're starting the year with about 2% lower rates from where they were, and a lot more options, more properties coming to market. I agree with you that I think this first quarter is going to be the best time to buy. Otherwise, we're going back to super competitive market.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for having me in today. I hope everybody's listening to all of these rate hacks and just kind of getting the wheels turning. You know what I mean? Obviously, you've got to talk to your favorite loan officer to be able to run your situation and do that very, very early so you know what you can qualify for and what your options are. So that way there you can go out and get the right house. That's the biggest thing that I think is helping people be successful in this market, as opposed to running around, finding properties, and then starting the process. But
Get that
get
golden
pre-qualified.
ticket.
That's right. Get the golden ticket. Get all your options up front. Explore everything, and then go out and get the right house.
Absolutely.
Thanks again for having me.